Uh, I had quite a crazy week last week, and that's why I didn't do the second video. Normally, I would upload two vids, but it was just quite crazy. And you know what? I kind of got used to not uh, sitting in front of camera, not talking to camera or talking to myself. But now I become a little bit awkward, so I don't know what to do. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today is your episode of 58. Yeah, I had quite a crazy week last week, super busy, and a lot of things happened. Of course, on Friday it was April Fool's Day. Funny story, and I probably shared that with you too. So I don't really have a topic today, but I do want to talk about my anxiety and a new term I just learned that I discovered that I might have that. It's called COPD. So I will explain a little bit more about it. Okay, let's get started. It only took me a week to get used to not sitting in front of camera talking to, I don't know, myself or camera. I kind of feel a little bit awkward. I don't know where to start. I had to kind of get myself ready for it. I sat here for a few minutes to, okay, I don't know what to do. Anyway, so last week, because it's the essay season in university, there are a lot of assignments. My sessions were fully booked every time when I added more hours there, and it will be like, right away got booked. And too much reading. And this is probably why when people are too busy and they just can't think. They can't think about anything. So last week I've gone through psychology, something of law, I forgot, Canadian law or something, philosophy, religion, women rights, and about biology. What is it? The other thing, I kind of find the topic was very interesting. And it was all sorts of topics about essay writing. So from 1 page to 11 pages long. So yeah, I was so busy with the writing. I could not think of anything to talk about for my coffee corner. So I kind of like, okay, I'm going to just pause for this week and I'll start fresh next week. Here we go. That was my week, but I was really happy because you know what? I really felt a lot improvement of my writing. Not only because I took writing or I've been taking writing courses, but also a lot of things like how to give more softer, and more effective feedback to students without correcting them. It's like we're not supposed to proofread, but without doing that, it was always very hard to give them a specific feedback. So I learned that and I was really happy about it. And my writing speed has really kind of gone up a lot. And I could tell that. And the flow, the structure, everything, I felt so good. Then I had this practicum student. So I was doing practice. So if any of you who have done TESOL courses. So there is a requirement of how many hours you need to do for your observations, how many hours for you to teach. Sometimes it's like solo teaching, sometimes it's pair teaching. So I'm the practicum supervisor, so I will help those teachers in class to, they will observe me and they will start to teach. Then I will give feedback. So that's what I've been doing since March, in the beginning of March. She was okay. And it's very hard to accept feedback, especially when it's like, there's something you need to improve, things like that. So she wasn't really happy about my feedback because I said, like, you need to improve this. And then she wrote me a giant email saying that, oh, my feedback was not fair because if her professor saw the feedback, it would be like she was a bad teacher. I mean, she didn't know how feedback works. And then she made that afterwards, after I explained it to her, but there's no apology. So it could be something, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know how that worked, but now I understand. So no apology, things like that. I was like, okay, fine. But I really got annoyed about that. Okay, and it brought up a lot of things that I've been through in similar situations. I think I don't know why I tend to get angry when people just don't follow rules, guidelines, policies. And I know some people are going to say, wow, those are tedious things. Why are you mad at that? Remember, I had an episode about it's okay to be sensitive, and then people are like, oh, those are small things. I don't think you're trying to make such a fuss there. Okay, so give me a different definition of tedious things, right? So that is a difficult part because everyone has their very own unique perspective of seeing things. To you, might be tedious things. To me, it can be really big, and I know. But that's one of my pet peeves. So never respond to work email on time, in time, and if you're the one who's looking for help, I'm here 24/7 for you. I send you you send me an email, I responded, and then you have another question you never asked until late night. Like, how could someone do that at night? So I still remember there were a few comments on that video about being sensitive, saying like, oh, why do you care about that? You have no control over them. I'm like, yeah, I'm fully aware of it. I have no control over that, but I also have, you also have no control of how I feel about it. And I don't think it's right. And then I just felt so unsettled, and I just didn't know why. And I was trying to tell myself it's not a big deal. It's her responsibility. And if she didn't do it, or if she didn't do it right, she'll just get bad marks. Why do you care that much? I'm such a responsible person. I want to make everything right. And then I went to Google, why do people get mad at rule breakers? So here it popped up three definitions, three explanations that I was really fond of them. First one is anxiety. I'm like, right away when I saw that, I was like, there is why. It's not only just about emotional, it's also about my physical feelings, because I could visibly see my hand shaking. I'm like, that's how I felt about last week what happened. And so when you see rules, sorry, when you see rule breakers, you just they just hate your nerve, right? So get on your nerve and make you feel anxious, and then right away you may have anxiety attack or a depression attack or something like that. I had an anxiety attack, and I do admit that my anxiety sometimes is very unstable, and sometimes I feel like I'm very, very good and I can handle all kind of situations. Sometimes I just like if something off the track, yeah, that's when my anxiety starts to attack me. So I kind of thought that way. So that's the first reason I feel like that explained a lot to me, and it made me feel so much better because I didn't want to be the mean person, and I just don't know, why can't you send me your stuff a little earlier? Well, you're a student who's doing this course, and tomorrow you're going to teach, and you send me your lesson plan at 10 o'clock at night. Like, you're expecting me to read it at 10 o'clock at night when I was already in bed, right? So anyway, that was something I kind of felt like, yeah, okay, fine. And the second definition is a new thing I learned, which I just mentioned in the beginning of the video. It's COPD. So it's Compulsive Obsessive Personality Disorder. It sounds kind of freaky, and I found that I'm like, this is a totally me. So you can go Google it, and there are some like simple tests to see if you have that kind of thing. It's basically people who are very fond of following rules, and they also care if other people follow rules. If you don't follow rules, you make me mad. So that's what it basically says with that. And I did find some definition, and I want to talk about this. So what is it? Oh, sorry, that's a wrong word. It's obsessive compulsive personality disorder. I totally screwed that up. Okay, so everyone, I'm just gonna correct myself. It is OCPD. OCPD, not a COPD. Yeah. Anyway, so here it says people with OCPD have the following characteristics. They find it hard to express their feelings. Yeah. They have difficulty forming and maintaining close relationships with others. Remember, I had an episode with my best friend talking about friendship. Yeah, it's hard. So I don't know how to maintain a close relationship with other people. So mhm. They're hardworking, but their obsession with the perfection can make them inefficient. Yes, because I focus on tedious things, and my emotion focuses on tedious things, and it's really difficult for me to move forward. And I do admit that. They often feel righteous, indignant, and angry. That is me. I'm not saying that this is right, but I feel like why can't you just follow rules? This is the right thing to do, and you're not following it, and I'm the only one who's following it. That just makes me really mad. Um, Another one is they often face social isolation. Well, I like working from home, so that tells everything. And the last one is they can experience anxiety that occurs with depression. Yes. So OCPD is often confused with an anxiety disorder called obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. However, they aren't the same. So, people with OCPD have no idea that there's anything wrong with the way they think or behave. They believe that their way of thinking and doing things is the only correct way and that everyone else is wrong. So, that is something wrong with me because I think this is the most effective way, efficient way to do it. This is the way that will make everybody's life so much easier. Why can't you just follow my way to do it? Once I had that thought, and then my life has turned miserable because of course everyone is not going to do anything around you, or they'll just follow whatever you want, right? So once the things don't go my way, that's when I get mad. I have to. You know how much it helped when I found this article? It just explained that, yes, kind of is my fault and it's my personality. It's just something wrong with me, but also, right? So you need to understand what's wrong with you so you can work on it. And it just makes me feel so much better after I read the article. And now I know, if similar thing happens, if she just doesn't really go the way I want, that is fine because that's her choice. And my way might not be the best. Might be good, but might not be the best. But also, let's say even if my way is the best and they don't follow my way, so what? I'll still continue my job being a practicum supervisor. I still want to go do better, and I still will follow my own rules and ways to do it. And then the student will be gone. So what? I just have to learn how to let go of it, and the person too. So that's what I learned about that OCPD, right? Obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Okay, fix that. But the good thing is, there's another thing I want to mention. I'm always, they're kind of like everywhere, all over the place. So on Friday, it was April Fool's Day, and I already told my student I'm gonna pull a joke on them. And I did, and I felt bad. I feel good, but I felt bad. So first class, morning class, that was me after the pregnant student. So I started the class and I told them that, hey everyone, I have good news for you. This will be the last day for me to teach you guys. And so I really thought that was funny. So they believed it. They really fell for it, and some of them start to cry. Some of them start to send me messages, super long, nice, sweet messages, and they made me cry. And right away, I didn't even wait for the believing moment. I just read it was, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. It was April Fools, right? So yeah, it was a joke. And then they still they thought that was real. And then one student, after I said April Fools, and then one student said, oh my God, babe, I almost had a heart attack. So their reactions were so precious to the point that made me really want to cry. They really liked me. And that makes me, what is the best thing being a teacher, that your students love you. So they were like, they couldn't believe it. And some of the students started to cry, and some students asked me why you want to leave. And some of them even said something like, is there anything we can do to keep you here? Like, we'll do whatever it takes. I'm like, oh my God, that was very, very sweet and lovely. And I felt so bad. I made them cry. And in the end of the class, they still like, there's still like a couple students trying to say like, Bae, I just want to ask you one more time. So that was just a joke, right? So I will see you next week, right? So you will still be with us, right? I'm like, yeah, yes, I am so sorry. I plan to post two jokes on my morning and afternoon classes, but then I kind of like just canceled the second one because I didn't want them to feel so bad. But again, I felt really, really good about it. And I chatted with my lead. She was wonderful. I like working with people who have schedules, who just follow rules, who do exactly what they want to do, exactly what they want people to do. And I want to do in their way. So I was like, I like her. I just like her so much. So we had a really nice chat about the student, about life, hair, and other things. Lovely. Until I saw that email from this practicum student. I was like, psh. And then it brought me to another thing. It's called positive and negative asymmetry. You know, when during a day, let's say just a day, not a week, during a day, there are 90 good things happen to you. But there's like one thing that is negative, then your whole focus has shifted to the negative part. You don't even think about those positive and nice and lovely sweet things. You only focused on the negative thing, and that screwed the whole day, the whole weekend, everything. And that was me. Okay, so that last week, it was crazy, it was busy, but it was very very, I don't know, like fulfilling. So I really, really liked it until the one thing that happened to me, and it screwed my whole, you know, feelings or anything. So I was unsettled the whole weekend. I was anxious the whole weekend. I could not enjoy things. I'm like, what the heck? Why did I focus on the one negative thing and ignored every single good thing that happened during that week? There were a lot of good things happen. But same thing with the social platforms, the social media is, you've received a lot of positive comments. You've received a lot of messages saying that, oh my God, Bae, I love your videos. They inspire me a lot. They encourage me. And congratulations to you. You got a job. I'm very happy for you. So those are good news. Very, very good. And then you see a negative comment, only one. And then you feel like, shoot. And then you see your numbers of followers start to dropping, and you will be like, what's the point of doing this? There is something wrong with how I think or how I see things. I really focus too much on negative stuff. I mean, think about this. If there are a couple of, let's even say, like if there are 10 negative comments, or I've lost hundreds of followers, things like that, but I still have so many of you guys there, and so many of you are waiting for my videos. Like, I'd have to remind myself to focus on positive things instead of negative things, but sometimes it's just very hard. And I went to look for that. It's called like the evaluation thing. So the term is positive negative asymmetry. So there's a balance. Some people tend to focus on the positive part. Some people tend to focus on negative part. It doesn't matter. So it's not the matter of quantity. Like, 10 positive things will cancel one negative thing. That's not how that works. As long as there's one little tiny bit negative thing happens, you're screwed. Okay, so that is how that works for me. So I have to really work on that. Yeah, that's how I feel. But I felt so much better to know what's wrong with me, and to figure out there are some things I can do to improve myself. I don't want to be tough, or I don't want to be too harsh on myself, but I do want to know what's going on with me. And so I know, sometimes it's about mental health, right? So if you have that, you understand reasons, and then you can go for it and find solutions to those things. But that's something I all of a sudden understood. You need to understand yourself, figure out things, focus on yourself instead of other people. Focus on negative things. Don't really just ignore. Sorry, did I say just focus on negative things? I'm so sorry. Focus on positive things and don't ignore negative things, because sometimes negative things might be useful. So that takes a strong and tough mind to look at it. So you have to be mentally strong to see, okay, I'm going to evaluate if this comment or this feedback or this advice constructive, useful, informative, or it's just total bullshit, right? So it's up to you. You have to see it. If it's a bullshit, please just, see it as nothing. Yeah, that's what I learned. I'm still learning. I'm trying to get better at that, but see how that goes. Okay, that is it for today's video. I feel like it was very short, but I'm sure it's kind of long because I kind of feel very talkative and venting today. But you know what? If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel just because Bobby is very cute. And I hope you're still awake. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye. Take care. Okay. Okay, it only took me a week to feel uncomfortable in front of the camera. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today is your episode of 55. Today is your episode of 58.